What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another one. This is a special guest I got with me. YoYo is in the building. How are you, dear?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
All right, all right.
I
It's
am good.
always good to see you. Always good to see you. Now, YoYo, I've been doing some RTL reviews, right?
Uh-huh.
And I have to say, I'm a fair man, okay? I like to think of
Okay.
myself as fair
Okay.
and balanced. So I
Okay.
need a woman's perspective on some of this stuff that maybe I'm missing. I don't know. And I trust your viewpoint and your opinions about some of these things. So if I need a little self-correcting, I'm not above that. I can take that. And who
Okay.
better than you to get to right my ship and to get me where I need to be. Now, tell me
Okay.
about what you think about some of these. Let's start with the men because
Okay.
I guess what I want to ask, who would you rank as far as number one, as far as being husband ready, as far as the men?
Okay. I may have a 1-2. I don't know.
Okay,
I
okay,
okay. So I'm gonna tell you who I like Justin
okay.
and I like Alonzo, but I just think Alonzo needs just a tad bit more work on maturing a little bit. But Alonzo, I think, is just a good guy. I like
Mm-hmm.
Alonzo. I think Alonzo is a good guy. And with
Mm,
some of the things I saw with Justin, I say the same thing. I think those are just two good guys. So those are my favorites, Alonzo and Justin.
wow,
So I don't know how they
wow.
rank with your guys.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Not I mean, I had Alonzo getting pushed up there. Now, here's the thing. With Justin, I started to feel like he was sort of kind of telling the women what they want to hear. Okay? He
Uh-huh.
was he wasn't being authentic to what it is that he wanted, right? He would tell the women, "Oh, I don't want kids." And then he'll tell Maya, "Yeah, I want kids. I want kids just like, anybody else." And I was like, and then he said, I got to figure out whether these women are going to be a partner to me or it's going to be, what did he say? Friends with benefits or whatever like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
started to feel like
Mm-hmm.
Justin was being a little disingenuous. I think he was get trying to smash, to be honest. And this is just from a
Yeah.
male
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. And I can see that. I can see that.
yeah, yeah. But the
Go ahead.
guy is he's very nice. He's very easy to get along with. And I will give him that. He's probably he still has some grown man in him, but at the same time, he's very easy to get along with. Um
Mm-hmm.
what is it that you like about Justin, and or do you kind of see where I'm coming from with him kind of telling the women what they want to hear a little bit?
I I did see that in the early on. I did
Mm-hmm.
see it because when he was with Maya, because Maya doesn't have any kids, he was saying one thing, and then when he got with is it Mika? Mika? Did she
Mm-hmm.
pronounce it Mika? When he got with
Yeah.
Mika, he started to say, well, I think I'll be okay without kids, which is the exact same thing that he said to Rashina. The
Right.
fact that he would be okay without having kids. Honestly, well, what I think it is, I think Justin can go either way. I think that's why I truly think maybe he can go either way. I think
With or
he
without
likes
kids.
Mika. Now, yeah, I think maybe he's. You remember he's a PE teacher, and so um, he's around kids a lot. So I I was thinking it initially. I was thinking that why is he so wishy-washy? Because that's a big swing. Kids, no kids. That's like a big
Mm.
swing.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
But then I thought, yeah, it is. And then, but then this last two episodes, it's kind of like I saw a real nice side of him, like a caring side to him. The way he was talking to Rashina and everything, and then the way he was getting along with Mika, it just seemed so organic that I could see him being like, I really like her. So I could probably be okay without having kids. But I think Alonzo though I think Alonzo is just a good guy. I don't think he's that type of guy that, I think with Justin, before I got to that point when he said the friends with benefits, I was like, did Justin still have some player in him? I don't know. It's like, but Alonzo never presented like that to me. Alonzo just kind of presented as a straight up, kind of silly, kind of goofy, but what you see is what you get. That's kind of what I got with Alonzo. That once he come out of that.
I said in one of my videos, he kind of remind me of Snoop Dogg, tall, slender, kind of goofy acting. But, I said Snoop is a married man, married for some decades now. So Alonzo can pull that off too. If all you got to deal with is his goofiness, his hair bonnet, and his roller skates, that's less problems than a lot of other guys gonna give you. You know what I mean? So I think he could still be a good husband. Yeah, I still think he could be a good husband to the right woman.
I think so too. And Alonzo had some really good dates with Patrice. He really did. He had some. It's like he put some thought, especially that museum date. He put a lot of thought into it. Even his last date that he had with her. And looking back, I'm thinking that Patrice and Alonzo probably had some of the best dates of anybody on the show, from what we could see. Yeah.
Well, that
like
museum.
He put some thought in.
Yeah, that museum date was definitely one of the best dates. I mean, he locked down the whole place. He had a looked like a dinner set up there. He had rose petals on the floor. The dinner table was set up. I mean, she came back to the whole Tommy Lounge saying it was the best date she ever had in her life. So when a woman say that, it was definitely, I mean, you did something right. So yeah, shout out to Alonzo for that date. I thought, yeah, he did. He put a lot of thought into that, and he only seems to really, go after Patrice. It's something about Patrice that he really loves. And he don't show that same intention with other women. That could be good or that could be bad, especially in this situation. When you got to kind of play politics a little bit in RTL. That's the part that really kind of, I don't particularly care for, but I understand it's the most entertaining part is eliminating people. So those are two top guys that you had. Now, what do you think about Chaz?
Oh my goodness. Throw him away.
Really?
Listen, he can't make a decision. He can't make a decision. And you know what? I think it goes back to something Chad told us early on about losing his child. Do you remember when he said that early on? I think there's something about Chaz getting too close to somebody, and I don't know. I think him losing that child did something to him, because he said that was over, I think, 20 years ago or something like that. And I'm thinking, so they go to the getaway, and honestly, I only saw Chaz with maybe one and a possible connection. Vanessa maybe Rashina. I didn't see the Mika connection, and Patrice just kind of put her name in the hat. So how do you go from Vanessa to now you have 4 women? You know, that whole trip didn't make any sense to me. And then he bounced. It's like, stand in it. Why did you leave? Yeah. He should have just stood in it, but I think he took the cowardly way out and he just ran. So I didn't understand that. But he's 47. Yeah. It's like, dude, when are you gonna settle down and make a decision?
Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of people really kind of use those words to describe him as cowardly. You know, and he is 47. You would think that he would be more decisive at this stage in his life than he ever, than ever before. You know, now is not the time to be indecisive. It's not the time to play games. It's time to lock down that wife that you've never had, unless you're not really ready. Now, you think he has abandonment issues? Is that what you think it is?
I think he's afraid. I think he's afraid.
Afraid to get close to anybody. Yeah.
I think he is. I would think at this age, if you really want to find that one person, that you would be a little more intentional. I mean, he has everything. Apparently, you have the career, you have the house, you're stable, you have all of these things.
I think in a future episode he's going to state that he is wealthy, and I'm starting to wonder, is that one of the reasons why all of the women are really riding heavy for him, is because he probably has the most wealth out of all of the guys? Do you think that's a possibility?
I do think it's a possibility, because he presents as a very stable individual. And, quite a few of the ladies had an opportunity to spend some time with him at his house. And so Chaz, he presents as a very stable individual. He's a 47-year-old man. He has taken good care of himself. Career-wise, he's stable. But, he checks all of the boxes on paper, but something is missing with him. Because I'm thinking Chaz should have been the most intentional. And he had the pick of the litter, so to speak. I mean, he really could have. I mean, even down to at one point, Alexis was kind of interested in him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like, it's that person you're afraid of. It's almost like, you kind of like think, okay, if I pick this, but what if around the corner there's something better? No, you're just gonna have to pick and settle with that. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand him. He's 47, and he went on a trip, and he should have told Patrice. Why didn't he just tell Patrice? If he hadn't reached out to her, if he hadn't shown any interest in Patrice, why didn't he just tell her, no, I'm good. I need to focus on the connections that I currently have. At this late stage, why are you trying to make new connections? That was just baffling to me.
Right.
It really was.
I agree with that.
And Vanessa was invested for a reason. She was like heavily invested with him. So I'm thinking, okay, Chaz and Vanessa, you all, because she came on that trip. Now think about previous seasons. By the time you get to the trip, people that have connections, people that are locked in, they are spending a lot of time together. Heck, they're sharing rooms. You know what I'm saying? Unless, I think they were spending a lot of time together. Whatever he was telling her to make her believe that she was number one. Because Vanessa did not expect Chaz to get in that house and not spend most, if not all, of his time with her.
She seems to have she does. She seemed to have a bit of a territorial viewpoint on things, and
think back to the episode where Chaz had everybody over at the house,
mm-hmm.
and Vanessa stayed back.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how Vanessa was so comfortable on that sofa?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To me, it's not natural to be at somebody's house for the very first time and put your feet up on the sofa. And do you see my point?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be very comfortable with that person, even with that house.
Right.
To sit and to kind of put your feet up on somebody's sofa. That means you're very comfortable.
That's a great point.
She was very comfortable at Chaz's house.
She was. That's a great point. I'm not going
to somebody's house for the first, second time and just put my feet up, take my shoes off, and put my feet up and get the throw
blanket on them.
Get the throw and get off. Yeah, the throw. So I was like, wait, I'm thinking she was very comfortable.
Almost as if it was not her first time there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she was way too.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I don't know if I was being fair to the brother. You can tell me if I was. I kind of called Chaz a bit of a peacock. And what I meant by peacock is he sort of likes to show off a little bit. I think him inviting everybody to his house was a peacock moment. I think that when he asked all the ladies at the pajama jam who the sexiest man was, that was a bit of a peacock moment. He knew the answer. A man ain't gonna ask that question if they don't know the answer. Okay. Yes. He knew the answer. Yeah. He just wanted to peacock himself and show it to all the other fellas. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Am I being fair or am I calling it how it should be called?
That's how I see him. He thinks very, very highly of himself. Think about what he did when, so he left, right? He left. So now you're in the men's lounge. And he got a lot of satisfaction out of hearing that it was a funeral, when it was a funeral-like atmosphere when he left.
Yeah.
To me, he got a lot of, like, everybody was sad. He got a lot of pleasure out of that. Right?
He did. I noticed that one too.
He talks to Rashina. He says, "Oh, I hear it was like a funeral-like atmosphere." She said, "Well, yeah, we were confused, but we turned up after you left." She played him just right because she did not give him anything. So I'm thinking, dude, why? It's like he took pleasure out of knowing that everybody was a funeral-like atmosphere when he left. He is. I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you. And Vanessa says she liked Chaz because he didn't need a lot of validation. Well, she's wrong. Chaz needs a lot of validation.
A ton of
Chaz
validation.
Needs a lot of. Yes, he does. A ton of validation. So she had him pegged wrong.
Yeah. I think a lot of the ladies had him pegged wrong, but his pull, his attraction is so strong. I mean, like I say, he's the peacock, so his attraction is so strong, it's hard for the woman to resist. If they see a guy that they're physically attracted to, if he look like he in the gym a little bit, if he look like he got some kind of money, some kind of steady career, if he look like he living well in a nice house or got a nice car, if he checking off all these boxes, it's no wonder everybody want to put a bid in. I'm looking at Patrice like, you want to put a bid in at the getaway? Like this is the last leg of the whole situation, and you still trying to put a bid in. What is going on? Like in my opinion, she should have been locked in on Zoe because Zoe showed intention from day one, and this is why a lot of men think that nice guys finish last. I'm not saying that Chaz is not a nice guy, but you got a nice guy like Zoe showing her all the intentions, all everything in the world, and she's still talking about she's still connected to Chaz. He didn't even have her number in his phone. Okay. And a normal guy wouldn't be able to get away with that.
I know. I was upset with her when she did that.
Yeah, I
just
it's
felt like listen, Alonzo's been so intentional with you, and I just think that Patrice, I see Alonzo as just like this very simple guy. I don't see him as being like the player type. I don't see him. I just think he's a very simple guy. If he likes you, he likes you, and he's going to be locked in, and he's only going to have eyes for you. I think Patrice is a little too much for Alonzo, honestly. I think she's going to run circles around him. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. I tell me if this is true. It's something I suspect, but tell me if this is true. Women give all kind of excuses and concessions to guys they do like, and they give all kind of rules and regulations to guys they don't like. Well, do you think that's a true statement?
I think that goes both ways.
I think that's a true
statement both ways. I think
one thing I noticed is that with William, he got too much baggage. That's too heavy. I ain't got the tools to deal with that. This, that, and the third with William, right? Chaz, I'm hurting inside. I can't deal with this. He runs home. Okay? Everybody's always, he's still here? Is he still in the process? Or it's hurting me that he left and I don't have the answers. It was giving, Chaz, at least it seemed to me, more leeway than there was William. And to me, the difference is Chaz he put himself in that situation. William is dealing with a sick parent, a sick father. I thought that it was pretty it wasn't fair for them to look at William in a way that that's too heavy for me, this, that, and the third, and give and practically send him home, versus Chaz, who they seem to have all this understanding for, because he's I guess one of the more stable, attractive guys. I don't know. Talk to me about that. Am I off on that or what?
No, because I think they both displayed the same type of behavior. Because for William, which what Chaz is bringing to the table, just if you're just talking about a financial type situation, of course, Chaz does not have 2 ex-wives. He doesn't have any children, right? William's career seemed a little like iffy. We're still not sure what William has going on with his career. So Chaz seems, Chaz is, by all account, more stable. No ex-wives, no children. So you're not looking at alimony plus child support and all of that, right? But they both displayed the same, if you want to call it, weakness. I don't know but that's just how it came across to me, because I think William in that moment used the situation with his dad as an excuse to garner sympathy. I think that was what I took from that. Wow. I think so. And the did it with, look, it's no coincidence that Patrice was at the center of both of those situations. So they both knew exactly who to go to with the information. Like William saying all of a sudden he's dealing with all of this stuff with his dad. I think William was trying to garner some sympathy to stay on the show. Then with Chaz, Same thing. That was so weak in my mind. Like that was to me, that wasn't him being vulnerable. That was just and I think William in his situation, he was trying to manipulate a situation, and I think Chaz was trying to manipulate a situation. And to me, that's I don't like that. I don't like that. You know. And Patrice,
So
she bought it.
yeah, yeah, she did. So talk to me about who do you think um is not, as far as I okay, so Alonzo and Justin seem to be your two favorites. Who do you think are the two guys that are on the bottom of that list as far as not being ready to be a husband, not being ready to ready to love at all? Who are the two bottom guys in your opinion?
You mean out of Chat? I mean, you mean out of
Out
Alonzo
of
and
all 10,
Justin?
out of all 10 of the guys that was on the show.
Oh, LaRon, LaRon,
LaRon, huh? Okay.
LaRon. Oh my goodness, why is he on this show? LaRon,
Well,
that
what's tell
guy.
me
Oh
about
my
LaRon?
goodness.
What's up with LaRon?
First of all, okay, LaRon's only 31.
Mm-hmm.
LaRon is 31.
Mm-hmm.
He just has a lot of play that's still in him. This hanging out, this, you know, drinking anything, eating everything. He's only 31.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that LaRon takes care of himself as well as he should be taking care of himself. He doesn't
Mm.
look 31 to me. He really doesn't look
Look
31 to me.
41. All
He
right. How
does.
old he look?
I, yeah, he looks like he's in his 40s.
Mm.
He looks like he's in his 40s. He you know, and I think a lot of what's going on with LaRon is a big front. It's just a
Mm.
big front. You want to present yourself in all of these ways, and I really don't think that's who he really and truly is. And I think just like with Maya, you know, Maya's not interested in LaRon. I don't see that. I don't see Maya being interested. And I don't. Is she just trying to stay on the show? I don't know what's going on with that situation. But I just, you know, I don't think LaRon is ready. I really don't. I don't. I think he enjoys. He and his friend, they go out and they, you know, hang out. I don't think he's ready.
What were your thoughts
And should
about
he? 31.
what's that?
I say, and should he be? He's only 31. I think that's
Well,
still young, honestly.
yeah, it is. It is. So they're probably not going to have a whole lot of experience on how to do relationships at that age. But I don't know. I think he's still at an age where he can he's ready to settle down. He said to himself he should have kids by now. Being 31, he should have kids by
He
now.
did.
So I think he's ready to settle down. Talk to me about that situation with Jonathan and Alexis at the Pajama Jam party. What were your thoughts about that whole situation?
He took it too far. He took it too far. I'm not sure what Jonathan was thinking in that moment, but how could you not know that that was inappropriate? That
Well,
was I don't know. I'm not sure what.
I think the fuel behind that is that Alexis said that he was too safe. He was too conservative. And he said, well, he can be a wild boy. She was like, well, because that was one of her turnoffs with him, is that she said, he seemed a little too conservative to her. So I think that, you know, you add a little liquid courage in the mix, and you see the opportunity, liquid courage plus opportunity, and then and you got something to prove. It all equal out to what he did. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of
What are your
sense.
thoughts? Yeah,
That
yeah. So,
that makes a lot. That makes a lot of sense
hmm
because in that moment, with everything that we understood Jonathan to be, in that moment,
hmm
it didn't match up. So I do
hmm
remember the conversation where she said that, I think he was a little too straight and narrow for her, and that was his opportunity. But you like to say the alcohol, that's what did it. The
hmm
alcohol is what gave him that courage to
That
take it a little too far.
sure
Yeah,
did,
and he
sure
messed
did.
up.
What? Let me ask you this: what women do you see on the show that is the most ready to love, like ready to be wives? The top two women, in your opinion, and this is not just looks or anything like that. This is just mentally ready to be a wife, ready to love women. Top two women.
Okay, so my top was Alexis. My top was
Okay,
Alexis,
okay,
and I like Rashina.
okay.
I like Alexis. I liked Alexis and Rashina. And what I
What
liked
is?
about Alexis, and I can understand. Hmm.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to ask you what do you
What
like
did
about those two?
Okay, so Alexis, I could see why she was able to get along with and relate to the man. I think Alexis was a tomboy growing up. I think, the fact that she's an athlete, the fact that she's a referee. I just think that Alexis is that girl or that lady that doesn't automatically have like a bad opinion about she doesn't lead with thinking that guys are a certain way, because I think she's grown up around guys, and I think she's probably has a lot of guy friends. And so I think Alexis is, and I just really liked Alexis's personality. I didn't really, a lot of folks don't did was saying she was a pick me. I didn't see her like that. I just saw her, again, the guy that she will. I think she liked Will, so I think it was her natural sort of inclination to take up for him and to kind of be there for him. And she didn't go along with all of the other women. But at the same time, Alexis, I like the fact that she knew how to stand up for herself with those women, because they ganged up on her quite a bit. So I like Alexis. Um, and then what I like about her, I also like the fact that Rashina, when she brought her ex-husband on the show, I was like, okay, this is kind of what I kind of thought about Rashina. Rashina also is, I just like her personality. I thought she got along well with the women. I thought she got along well with the men. She didn't want any mess. I don't see her as being someone that, can't get along um, with the women. I thought the interaction she had with Justin was really cool, because she could see that he was, forming a relationship with Mika, and she was like, "I get it. I totally get it, and I wish you guys well." Even the way she bowed out at the end with Chaz, she didn't come in there, guns a blazing with him. I think she wanted to eliminate herself and not give him an opportunity to eliminate her. I think she did not want to give him that satisfaction. So my top two ladies, I would say. Now I think I also, it was the young lady who actually left early. I can't remember her name. I can't remember. It started with an
Layland?
L, but she left early. Layland.
Yeah,
I also
Layland.
liked.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Layland, so I
I
kind
like
of wish that
Layland
she
too.
would have stayed. I liked her too. Mika, I'm just still trying to figure out Mika. I think this last show her personality came out a little bit, but I think Mika's loyal. I think once she opens up and once she locks into who she locks in, that's the vibe I get from Mika. I think she's closed off until she's not, and when she opens up, I think that's the vibe I get from Mika. But my top two, I would say Alexis and Rashina. Those are my top two.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. All right. Now,
Now,
of
now
the let.
Jonathan is no longer on the show, but I did like Jonathan. I did like
Okay.
Jonathan, and I would probably put Jonathan
Number
probably
three.
ahead of Justin. Yeah, yeah, I did like
Oh,
Jonathan. I like
ahead of
Jonathan.
Justin. Ahead of Justin.
Probably yes, ahead of Justin. Yes,
Even
yes,
even though he had a
yes.
malfunction with the alcohol. Interesting.
He had a malfunction with alcohol, and I think he could. I think there's room for him to recover from that. I do. I think he
Okay, I
got caught
see.
up, like you said, with Alexis. He really liked Alexis. He really liked Alexis. And I actually thought they
Yeah.
made a good couple. I think Jonathan and Alexis would have made a good couple. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Did you see my interview with Dom at all or no? I did an interview
I
with
did.
Dominique.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there anything
Yeah.
that in that interview that kind of stuck out to you that he said?
I don't know if I'm remembering or conflating the interview he did with you and what was it, Crystal XO.
Crystal. Right,
I
right.
think he yeah, I think he when he talked about Alexis,
Uh huh.
about why he liked, yeah. And
Yeah.
it makes sense that go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, he said something to
No,
the
it makes
fact
sense.
that Alexis really kind of looks out for brothers, and she's very protective of black men. That kind of stuck out to me with Alexis, and how she kind of let Jonathan know that it was wrong what he did, but at the same time she didn't put him on blast or any, because he said if he would have if Jonathan would have tried that with any of the other ladies, they would have probably put charges on him or something like that. So Alexis was really probably more the most patient woman at that party, and he said he knew who to try that with. I thought that was interesting when Dom said that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, she extended him some grace, but I think Jonathan, all in all, Jonathan is a good guy. I think he realized too. He went too far. And listen, we all mess up.
yeah,
We
yeah,
we all
yeah.
mess up, and I think the world would be if we just extended. Not obviously people go too far where there's just like a point of no return, but there's some space where we can extend some grace. You know,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Let me ask you this: what three couples do you think are going to be left standing at the choosing? Give me the yo-yo
Let me see.
predictions of the last three couples standing.
So we don't have. Okay, so I think Justin and Mika. I think that's a given. Um, LaRon and Maya, but listen, that's not. I don't see that going anywhere. But I think they're gonna stick it out to the end. I think they're gonna stick
Okay.
it out to the end. I'm
Okay.
I'm really rooting for Justin and Mika. I'm rooting for them. I think that they look good together. I think they mesh together. They get along. They have
Mhm.
they really seem very comfortable, and it just seems kind of organic with them. It doesn't seem forced. Actually, I enjoyed watching them together. It was very hard to watch LaRon and Maya together. But Justin and Mika, it was cute. It was so cute seeing them together. And so, and I like seeing Patrice and Alonzo together. It's easy to
Right.
watch them together because
Right.
it seems natural. It doesn't seem
Uh-huh.
forced. And so I don't even like seeing Chaz and Vanessa together because it seems kind of seems weird. I don't know. It just they're
Mm-hmm.
just weird. I don't know. They seem so. I like Alonzo and Patrice. I like watching them. Anything that they do together, I'm like they are so cute together. Mika and Justin, they are so cute together. So for a third, maybe Chaz and Vanessa are gonna stick it out. I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
now wait a second. This week, who's up for elimination?
It's a
Who went
lady.
home?
Rashina went home. Rashina went home.
Okay, so Regina went home. So now we're back to the guys, right?
No, I
I
don't
think
think it's no
Alonzo
more
went home.
eliminations. I think I think this is probably the episode where they choose their chick. I think this is they meet the parents and then I think they choose. Uh,
Oh, so is it gonna be four couples?
I don't know. I don't know.
So you're
I
right.
don't.
So it's probably no more eliminations now, right?
I remember Tommy saying, "Ladies, this is your last reign on top," or something to that nature, and saying that there's probably not going to be any other time when they're going to send another guy home. It's only three guys left. I mean, Chaz came back; he final four, but um, it was really only three guys left. So I
Oh,
can't really
that's
see
right.
them
Wait, so
eliminating another guy.
that's true. So it's Justin, LaRon. Oh, it's four guys.
Yeah, it's
Justin,
four.
LaRon, Alonzo, Chaz.
Right.
And then for women, it's Mika, Vanessa, Patrice, and Maya. That's right.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So now we have the where
So if you had
everybody's
to pick
coupled
a,
off
so if you
except
had to,
Chaz.
right. So if you had to pick
So
a
if I'm picking,
couple that won't make it, what one couple you see that's not going to make the finale?
I think Maya is probably gonna pick herself. I don't think Maya's gonna pick LaRon. I don't
Think
think
so?
Maya's. If they end up, yeah, I think Maya's gonna pick herself. She looks so uncomfortable around him. Not unless she'll just do it to just get to the end as a couple. What do you think about the two of them? Does she even look comfortable with him?
She do. I
She
think
really?
that yeah. I don't think Chaz and Vanessa is going to make it.
Oh,
I think Chaz is going to pick himself. And
oh,
and
interesting.
yeah, and I think Vanessa I or she may pick herself too. Here's my whole thing. I think Chaz is a guy who is really more of a player than women actually know. He presents well. He presents like he's stable, he's older, he's mature, he has wealth, he got the looks, he's in the gym. He said he's ready for his wife. All that is put on the table in a nice little
Mm-hmm.
arrangement for women to feast their eyes on. Okay, but I don't think the brother's ready. I think he is on there to get the
I don't
women
think.
off of TV. So he's using the show to be an international player, and I don't think he's gonna choose none of these chicks. Okay,
You say he gonna be he using the show as a
from the
step stool.
Himalaya. Yeah, he gonna be a player from the Himalayas for real. All right.
Oh Lord. So listen, that just I'm telling you, he really is not ready. But see, the only thing with this show is you don't know who's just playing the game to get to the end or
Mm-hmm.
who's really like being authentic to say, now I'm thinking about something. Do you think Maya likes LaRon and that she's just kind of being a little coy around him because she likes him? Do you think she really likes LaRon?
That's a great question. Listen, Maya is addicted to the alpha male. Okay, that's her thing. Being the most feminine woman, she loves the alpha male, the Pookie, the Ray Ray, the whoever. If you remember her ex, Wes, this guy was a bit of an alpha male. Okay, LaRon, he called a meeting at at the getaway or whatever. He looks like an alpha male. LaRon really just ratted out William for something that all of the guys were doing. But he pointed out Will. You know why he pointed out Will specifically? Because he wanted his girl. He wanted his girl. So let me point out the one guy who I'm trying to get at his girl. So let me put him on blast. This is why I said in one of my videos, it could be genius. It could be genius that he did it that way. If you're the only guy on the trip without a connection, your girl Koshia been gone, and you're trying to create another connection with another chick that you might have interest in, you are going to put her man on blast. Okay? And that's what LaRon did. And fortunately, it works like a charm. The women kind of fell for it. Maya fell for it. And it also made him look alpha too to Maya. I actually think they make a good couple. I believe in them way more than I do Chaz and Vanessa. So I think that.
Now that you put.
Yeah, I think that they're going to last. I'm not saying that they're going to last past the reunion. Okay, we may have no couples at the end of the reunion. By the time the reunion hit, ain't nobody last. Ain't nobody with each other. Exactly. You know what I mean? But past the choosing day, I think that Maya and LaRon will survive past that. At least I think.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, one of those that date that they had where I think it was a double date, and LaRon, that was his first date with Maya. She did seem to kind of like him.
Mm-hmm.
She did, and I was just like, really? Okay.
Now here's something that
he
is what?
He doesn't have any kids,
Right,
he's never been married. So they have
they live in the same lifestyle. One thing that Dom said to me was kind of key. He said the show pretty much picks the person you're going to go to the end with from the beginning. You don't get to mingle and pick your person to ride out with because they're trying to stick to storylines. If you want to get to know someone, you got to do it outside of the show's parameters, so to speak, right? So LaRon probably had eyes for Maya, but the show never let them connect with each other because Koshia was his connection. So they were trying to ride the LaRon and Koshia storyline. This is why these two never really got together. And Maya was connected to William, right? So they were trying to ride that storyline too. So they had to go outside of the parameters of the show in order to just get to know each other. And I think that that is probably why they are a better, I think they are a pretty good match with each other, because they have the same lifestyle. They do like to party. They don't like
Yeah.
their relationship to be boring. They want to have their first kiss with their husband and wife. They want two boys. You know, they both got round chocolate faces. You know what I mean? So everything is matching up to the point where, you know, once the show kind of gets out of the way, they can kind of have their connection. You know, let me say this too, to you, Yo-Yo. I'm really not buying it. I'm really not buying it. I'm really not buying the Justin and Shamika connection.
You're
I'm really
not.
not buying it. No. And the reason why I'm
You
not
think
buying it is because, yeah, Shamika she is still, let me tell you something. She will get with Chaz. If Chaz said I'm picking Shamika, she would drop Justin like a hot cake, okay? She would drop Justin like it's nothing. There's no way Shamika will choose Justin over Chaz. There's just no way. Justin is a guy. Now, look, I'm not knocking the guy. I think it's a dope thing he does. He's a gym teacher. But he probably at the 40 to 50 to $60,000 range. And let's keep it real. Chaz is probably at quadruple that amount, okay? Annually. He probably make 3 to 4 times what your boy Justin make. All these women would drop all these dudes for Chaz. All of them will. And a lot of them, and this is I don't want to say a frustration, but a lot of women tend to only want the top 1 to 10% of men, and they crap on all of the other guys. Chaz got his pick of the litter, but he could choose any of them chicks. All these other great guys are out there, and this is what happens in real life, in real dating, on dating apps and things like that. Women only choose the Chaz guy. Okay? Meanwhile, the Chaz guy is a player. So what are you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna be okay with being just one of his chicks? Because at the end of the day, he got the pick of the litter, just like Chaz do. And this is a bit of a frustration for a lot of men, is that women kind of move like that, because you leave a whole bunch of good available men out there, and then you say, oh, it ain't no good men out here. It's like, what are you talking about? We out here. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Well, that reminds me, because on paper, you would think that Maya and Justin would have made a good couple. No kids. He wants kids. She wants kids. But he went on that date with that ex-boyfriend. And he knew from that moment that he wasn't in the right tax bracket for Maya. You know, and so if I'm looking at, because think about it, you would think that she would be more attracted to Justin than LaRon. Just from a physical standpoint, she would be more attracted. But
Maya,
just from a physical standpoint, if you have Justin and you have LaRon, you're gonna pick Justin. But then if I'm thinking about what LaRon does for a living compared to what Justin does for a living, I'm sure LaRon's making probably twice as much as well as what Justin is making. And that is unfortunate. And he probably I'm pretty sure Justin, he probably gets that a lot in terms of, you know, showing up as a good guy, but your bank account is perceived as being less
what
than.
makes the man. Yeah. So
That's unfortunate. That is so unfortunate.
yeah, unfortunately, that's the measure of a man, for a lot of Western women in this Western culture that we're living in, is how much money you bring to the table is the absolute most important thing. It ain't his character, it ain't how he makes you feel, it ain't his morals, his ethics, none of that. I'm sure Justin got a lot of good morals, ethics. He's a good time. He's a good guy to spend time with. I mean, he do got Shamika, but I'm gonna tell you, Shamika will drop this dude for Chaz, and Chaz will be a player. He will
So
be a
then,
player. He won't settle.
are we saying that's the attraction for Maya and LaRon? That bank account or that job or
For
that
for Maya and Laurent,
yeah.
no, I think they got a genuine connection. I think they really got a genuine connection. I think they see themselves in each other. You know what I mean? They see themselves in each other. Oh, you're in tech. I'm in tech too. She's an IT healthcare consultant. He's a software engineer. They in tech. They got all these things. They probably look at each other and kind of see each other in their face. Like I think they got a whole lot more in common than Shamika and Justin. And
Interesting. Yeah.
I think that this is probably going to be, one of a thing with Justin where, his career and his money and stuff is going to be an issue. I think once Shamika see his real life, she go over his house for real. She see his career for real, and see they living in a fantasy world right now on the show, right?
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
vacations to, Airbnbs where the jet skis and all this, they having fun. They ain't got no money problems right now. Okay.
Right.
Dates
Right.
are paid for the most part by the show. So Justin ain't got to show all that. He didn't even bring the women to his house. He brought the women to his friend house.
That's true.
You see what
That's
I'm
true.
saying? And I was
That's true.
wondering, like, why didn't he invite him to his house? But all that is going to come to a head once they get into the real world. This is why I don't think it's going to work out,
Yeah.
because I think Shamika is probably going to be a little more, I want to say, materialistic than she looks right now. I think she's just enjoying being on the show, and Justin is her ticket on the show. You see what I'm saying? And it was kind of vice versa too, because both Shamika and Rashina was keeping Justin on the show too.
That's true.
But I think reality is going to hit, and once reality hit, it's over.
So, what do you think about Patrice and Alonzo? What do you think about them?
They're my favorite couple.
I like them.
Yeah, they're my
I
favorite
just hope,
couple.
but see, I just hope that she is really. I just hope that she's really genuine about going down with all of this that she's. So
I
why?
I
What do you
agree.
think about the whole Chaz thing, where she puts herself in the mix with Chaz? Was that just
It
her playing the game?
it didn't make sense to me. Um, listen, like I said before, all the women want the top man, the top dog, the alpha dog. They want that dude. This is why only 10% of men get all of the women. And then you got the other 90% of men who ain't got no women, who got to be what's called passport bros and this, that, and
Mm-hmm.
the third, or whatever the case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think she was just trying to prove to herself that her value is worth having the top guy. So look, if Patrice is looking around and she said, "Oh well, I don't see Rashina being any better than me. Oh, I don't see none of these other chicks being better than me. Why don't I put my bid in to get this top guy?" Because it's been a thing since time immemorial. Women are attracted to men who can get a lot of women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be sort of like an ego competitive type thing on her part.
Yeah, yeah. Look, yeah, it's an ego thing on their side too. I mean, Patrice she got ego too, so
Yeah.
she gonna be like, look, I'm just as good as these chicks. He need to check for me. And like I said before, the show steers you in one direction. This is why I like the retreats, because the show gets out of the way at that point. Then
Exactly.
you see other people trying to make other connections. LaRon trying to get with Maya, Patrice trying to get to with Chaz. You see all these other connections, and you see some don't last. Justin, he gets rid of Rashina or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chaz breaks it off with all of them. Like, I love the retreat
Yeah.
portion of this show because the Fugazi goes out the window.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
true. That is so true. And Dom's not the first person to have said that the show is the one that they direct the date. The producers direct who you go out with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it was last season or a previous season when somebody requested, hey, can I go out with such and such and such and such a person? So I do remember, well, that's a tad bit unfortunate because it could be it could be more organic than what it is. And I need to go back and watch the season where they were actually all in the house together, and everybody says that was the best season. Did you watch that season of Ready to Love?
When they were all in the house together.
Yeah, I think
What
they were
season
all.
was that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but there was a season where they were the whole for the duration of the show. They were in a house together. Maybe that was the COVID season. I don't know. But did you realize there was one?
I think that probably was the COVID season, and that was they wasn't all in the house together. They was sort of in the hotel. Yeah, I guess they sort of was. That was Houston.
Oh,
That
was
was
that?
I think that was a Houston season when they were in, yeah, because I think Tommy lives in Houston. So
Okay.
in order to stay close to home, and they had a little resort there, they could
Okay.
have everybody stay in that one little resort. I mean, they still had like jet skis and stuff, the whole nine like they did in prior episodes, but they didn't really go out on bar dates and things like that. They didn't do that type of stuff.
Okay. So they didn't all live under one roof together, but they were sort of like in this hotel resort type place.
Yeah, they stayed in the hotel resort. Yeah, and they
Okay.
were kind of confined to that hotel. Yeah,
Okay. Did you
yeah.
like that season? Did
It
you see the?
was it was a good season. It had action. I think that's the season where I don't know if you remember Simone and
Yeah.
Rashid. I think
Yeah.
that was their season where they were all confined. Yeah, so it was a good season. It was a good season.
Hmm.
It had
Hmm.
it had its action. Um all right, so what do you think about Vanessa though? Overall. I mean, is she wrong? Because I'm gonna tell you, she has a lot of supporters. She has a lot of women who will understand every move she's making and things like that. So, what are your thoughts about Vanessa?
So I didn't, from the very beginning, I did not like Vanessa's interaction with like the other people on the show. I just thought that she
Mm.
was kind of like she'd be like looking at people like like if she didn't like you or if she wasn't interested in anything that you had to say. I remember maybe the first episode where she was talking to Alonzo, and
Hmm.
I was like, why is she not just being more nice? I just
Right.
thought she was very cold, kind of standoffish a little bit. And
Mm.
even with the women, I didn't see her warm up very much with. I didn't see a lot of camaraderie with her and the women. And even
Yeah.
with some of the men, I just thought she was kind of a little judgy. Or even
Mm-hmm.
because you know
Mm-hmm.
what, you can be out with somebody, and you may say, okay, this is not my person, but you can still kick it with, chop it up with the person. You can still engage in
Mm-hmm.
conversation. You can still, like, you know, just have a nice, dialogue with the person. But I just felt like she was just so cold at times. And she was really, Chaz was her person from day one. And that's the only person. I don't think she was interested in getting to know any other of the other guys. So I don't know. She was just, the fact that she's
She
a flight attendant. I was like, girl, where are your people skills? Because you ain't too nice. Now
yeah.
she wasn't outwardly nasty or rude or anything, but she was kind of like, yeah, a little rude, little like
A little uppity a little bit.
little up, yes, a little
Yeah.
uppity, a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
uppity, a little uppity. I
Yeah.
think she,
Yeah.
she walked around like she was, probably better than the women, and I don't think the women took to her. I really don't. And I
Damn.
was listening
Uh
to another, what is it, Married 10 Years, and
huh.
she had the opinion about why Patrice did what she did, and it was just like to show Vanessa, girl, you think you got Chaz on lock, but guess what? You don't. Because the women didn't really like kick it with her,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I just think that she should, yeah, it's like, girl, get your nose out the air and come on down and just hang
You
with the
know
people.
she was she was who she was married to before, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know if some of that is rubbed off on her a little bit, but
But
you
it
know.
but you can see where, oh, okay, well, maybe that it makes a little sense. It makes a little
Right.
sense. Because
Right.
from the
Right.
very, I remember that time when Alonzo silly, but you can say, who can't talk to Alonzo? Who
Right.
cannot talk to Alonzo and sit there and laugh and giggle with him? He's a nice guy,
Right.
but you were just
Right.
looking at him like, who are, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
She should. But in all fairness, she was doing that with the women too. Like
she
when
was.
Koshia was going off on Alexis that one episode where I smacked this chick, and I paused her frame where she was looking at them like they was like crazy, like ghetto.
Exactly.
I was
Exactly.
like, I froze that frame, and Vanessa had this, you ghetto chicks. She had this
Exactly.
look like, y'all, I don't know about y'all. This is why I don't like black people type thing.
Yeah, exactly. That sums it up.
I'm not saying that she's like that, but I'm just saying that's the look that she made.
But
So
she came across kind of like that. She did. She didn't want.
mhm.
You notice when she went upstairs, Patrice didn't open that door for her. She kept knocking on the door. She's like, "Girl, you're not my friend. Leave me alone."
Right, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. I
she
don't know. So is
married to.
there?
She should have stayed married to her, whoever she was married to, because she's been out of the dating game for a while, and
Well,
uh,
apparently that guy didn't. He couldn't relate to her culture. I think so.
exactly,
She was
exactly.
like, So she kind of seemed like she's stuck between two worlds. You know what I mean? That black side and maybe that white side a little bit. So she's kind
But
of
did
somewhere in the middle, stuck between two worlds.
but did you also feel like at times she felt a little it felt a little awkward watching her, like she didn't quite know how to fit in, or
Yeah, I
she
did.
didn't.
I did see that, and I did notice that. Like I said, when I it looks to me like she's stuck in between two worlds. It's almost like living the life of a mixed person or something like that. It's like
Mhm.
I'm not sure exactly where I fit in. I don't get along. I don't rock with these ghetto chicks who talking about smacking, and I don't. But at the same time, over here they don't understand my culture, and I have to divorce this guy because he don't understand me. So it's like, where exactly are you as far as your culture and where you? It's like she's stuck in between the two worlds.
Yeah, and it
You
came
know?
across on the screen that it was
Yeah,
just she just couldn't quite fit in. I think she's
yeah,
beautiful. I think she's a beautiful lady, and yeah, but something was just a little off. Something was just
yeah. I think she's a beautiful woman too. Shout out to Vanessa. Dom said he was making a connection with her. He kind of took a little, you know, had a little bit of an issue of how he was being presented, as far as him looking like he was worried about if they were smashing or not. He was like, I didn't care enough to ask that, so I'm not sure why she thought that, because she
mm.
made it seem like, oh, he's insecure about our relationship and if we're smashing or not. And he was like, that I took a little issue to. He said he took a little issue to that because that's not what he was thinking. So, but yeah. So crazy season. Is there any couple that you think that is still together today?
If you just had Patrice and Alonzo, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and
Oh,
say
okay.
Patrice and
Okay.
Alonzo.
All right. Shout out to Patrice and Alonzo. If y'all still together, that would have been my pick too.
I hope they are. I
Yeah,
hope
I
they.
hope they are too. Two great people. I gave
Yeah.
Lonzo a hard time because I thought he was a little childish, to be honest. But I seen he had a good heart, and he has intention,
Yeah.
and I see how he handles conflict,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
handles conflict very well.
I
He
agree.
he went and when he was beefing with Koshia, he said, "Look, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you." Took some a lot of emotional intelligence to do that. He let LaRon know, "Look, I don't want to step on no toes. If we want to have this meeting, let's talk about it now." He did that with them. He just seems like a pretty well rounded guy, as far as emotionally, and you never see him get into no big beefs with anybody. You know what I mean?
No.
All he's doing is roller skating and
Yeah,
dancing with his
living
bonnet
life.
on. Yeah, yeah,
Having you
loving
got
the
and
experience.
that you gotta have that. You need somebody that just doesn't take life too seriously.
Right,
There's a time to, okay, we gotta be serious in this moment, but you don't want somebody that's like that all the time. And another thing I like about him is he listened to Patrice when she said, I need to see another side of you. And he
right.
listened, and he was very intentional about showing her that other side. And I also like the fact that even after the very nice moment at the museum when he got down to pretend like he was gonna propose, and then he was like,
Mm-hmm.
I just needed time. I was like, that was
Yeah,
cool. That
yeah.
was
Just
cool.
a funny moment. Just for them to share. Just that little funny moment. And he said that every time she's with him, they can really, she can laugh and she can let loose and
Yeah.
have fun with him. So,
Yeah.
shout out to Zoe, because he is a vibe. He brings a
Yeah.
vibe, and
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 that's
it's
who
a
he is. That is who
right.
he is. And it's not fair to meet this guy knowing this is the way he is and
Hmm.
then try to change him completely.
Hmm.
But you can tell him, look, I need you to carve out this little space to where you can be romantic, or you can be serious. That's fine. I think
Right.
that's all part of a relationship, the compromise, right? But you shouldn't
Hmm.
at your core change who you are. I don't think that's fair. It's not fair.
Right. Part of me was wondering why, and I don't mean no disrespect by this. I was just kind of puzzled as to what Zoe was so enamored with Patrice on. she's a nice looking woman. She's a beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong. But he really only had hard eyes for her. And in a sea of women who you had Shamika's, you had Vanessa's, you had Laylan's, he only seen Patrice. And I was always curious as to what it was. Was it he seeing her spirit? Or again, I'm not saying like Patrice is she's a nice looking woman.
He said, you don't remember when he said it early on?
What did he say?
He talked about her tattoos.
Yeah.
He locked into her early on, and he never swayed.
Never swayed.
He is enamored with her. He really is.
He is, and
he loved him some Patricia, some Patrice.
He do. and she's a nice person too. She has a great personality, and he loves to see her smile and bring joy to her. She's easy to get along with. To me, she has the most emotional intelligence out of all of the ladies. So shout out to Patrice for that. Now Dom warned that the reunion is going to be a hot mess.
Oh Lord.
This reunion is going to be.
But there was not that we didn't see it. I guess a lot of the mess must have happened behind the scenes, because we didn't see a lot of it on screen. We saw a little bit with Koshia and Alexis, and I was glad that we got past that. But do you think this season was? I think
he said people came to the reunion with a chip on their shoulder. Grudges were held. He said sometimes time can be a good thing. It can heal wounds, but sometimes time can throw salt in those wounds. He said this reunion, they threw salt. They couldn't wait to get back on this reunion to talk as greasy as they possibly could.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know what is going to happen. He didn't really get into what is going to happen. He just told me the emotion of the reunion. He said he didn't want to be a part of the situation. He wasn't even sure they were going to air their season because the reunion was so bad.
Ooh. I think they're gonna give Alexis a hard time. They're gonna give her a hard time. I can see Alexis.
I don't know why. I agree with you, but I don't know why. I'm trying to think of whoever got beef. I would probably say maybe Chocolate Will maybe have beef with LaRon. Maybe LaRon has beef with Chocolate Will, trying to conspire to get him out. I think maybe Alexis is probably going to jump into it because they conspired to get her out. Those are educated guesses, though. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm trying to think of all the beefs there were. Probably even Will, the last Will to leave. Maybe he'll get into it too.
Yeah. Because
LaRon has kind of burnt some bridges with some people because of his antics, and I think Koshia is going to get into it again, probably with Alexis or whoever else. Yeah. It's some outstanding beefs out there for sure, but we'll have to see how it all shakes out in the reunions. Yeah.
That's unfortunate that the reunion gets so messy.
Yeah, but we'll wrap it up here. What is there? First, let me ask: is there anything else you want to add to it, or
I'm good?
No, okay. And thanks for joining me, YoYo. You dope, girl.
This was good.
Yeah, it's always good to have you on and see you. Thanks for watching, y'all. Appreciate it. Hit the like, share, and subscribe for more great stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. I think he is on there to get the women off of TV. So he's using the show to be an international player. And I don't think he's going to choose none of these chicks. Okay.
You say he using the show
from the Himalaya. Yeah, he gonna be a player from the Himalayas for real. All right.
Oh, Lord.